Hey everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to another episode of Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be sharing a technique that I've had bookmarked in a magazine. I saw it like 2 years ago and kept meaning to try it, never did. And then I finally got around to it because I had a die that I thought would look, hey, kind of awesome with that. So I dug out the magazine and now I'm trying it. And I'm going to take a couple of dryer sheets. These are two dryer sheets that are unscented, and I folded them in half so I'd have a thickness of 4 layers of dryer sheets. And then I'm going to take my basil cardstock and lay that on top and then add the die. This is the Smile die from the Open Studio line by Memory Box. And I used a piece of Post-it tape, but in hindsight, I wish I hadn't because I was using the magnetic platform and I think it pretty well kept that die in place. But I was kind of being paranoid, worried that the die would shift, and the tape ended up getting really stuck on there. And so I had to really work hard and slowly and fold it back on itself to remove it without damaging the paper surface. So now you can see I've removed the die and I've removed the word smile, and I'm just going to save it for something else because I'm not going to use it. But in the meantime, I need to make some lines across the surface of the paper. And my first two attempts, I kept getting this transfer of black smudges everywhere on my project, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And finally, on my third attempt, it dawned on me, you know what? Let's see if it's this. And so I flipped my Tim Holtz ruler over, and all be golly, that's what it was. The wet alcohol ink was actually removing the screen printing on the bottom side of my Tim Holtz ruler. So just flip your ruler over, you can see through it, it's still clear, and you still got that guide there, a straight edge there to help you draw these lines with your alcohol marker. And my alcohol marker is just a shade darker than the cardstock that I'm working with to create this effect. So I'm drawing these lines, moving across the die and the paper from the bottom left corner and the upper right corner of each letter as I'm going across the paper. And you could do all lower left and then come back over the top and do all upper right, but I just kind of went as I was going along and just did them both at the same time. So lower left and upper right corner edges of each letter. So you can see my diagonal lines there. And then I'm going to take the brush nib and go ahead and fill in the upper right hand portions there. Just fill those gaps right there. And this is just going to take a few minutes. The one thing about the Copic marker is that it's being a darker shade than the cardstock is really going to help give you that depth effect that you want, the shading effect that you want. And when you're done with that, then it's time to come in and add some thicker lines using the chisel nib and a straight edge. And again, you have to keep all these lines parallel to each other as you're going across. This is going to help create that 3D effect. Now, one thing I didn't do that I will do better next time is I didn't do a great job of paying attention to where the bottoms of the letters were, and that's where those thicker lines should have gone. And instead, I was just kind of like filling it in wherever I thought it looked good. Don't do what I did. Find the bottom edges of the letters and fill in those thicker lines there, and I think you'll get a better 3D effect. I wasn't happy when I got to the end of this, and so I was like, let's just add some more, create some more streaks to kind of fill it in a little bit better. Guys, I didn't want to start over at this point because this was try number 3, you know? So so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to finish it, and the next time I'll do a better job. That's just the way it goes. So I'm going to intensify underneath those letters by using the chisel nib to outline the bottom edges of those letters and then intensify the upper areas there just to make sure that it's all uniform and to help further create that 3D illusion. And when I remove the paper, you'll see that the negative part of the E is remaining stuck to the dryer sheet, which is awesome because then I won't lose that little bit. I'm going to need it a little bit later. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces apart. I'm using the straight edge, the metal side of the ruler, and a craft knife. And again, I kept my knife, or not my knife, the ruler flipped over so that the screen printing wasn't going across any of that alcohol ink, just in case it was still wet. And then I'm going to mount this piece, now that I've cut it away, to a white panel. And this white panel is 4 inches by 5 1/4. It's just a 1/4 inch smaller than a standard A2 teal card. And then I'm going to add some mono multi-glue there. I added tape runner to the back of the larger portions of this piece, but those little appendages are kind of tiny. It's hard to get tape runner on them, so I just used some glue, and then we'll go ahead and glue that into place on the white panel. Just flush that corner right down there. And then I also die cut the word smile from some heavyweight white cardstock. I'm going to glue this into place first, just add more tape runner. And there you can see I've got a nice border because I trimmed it down. And then I'm going to take the Smile die cut from white cardstock. You just need a high contrasting color, I think, to help create this. It could have been, black, or it could have been blue, or it could have been, any color I wanted. But I decided to go with white because usually for me, mixing three colors is enough. That's a challenge for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some mono multi glue to the back of the die and nestle it right back in there into place. And then the upper portion that I cut away has those little bits that I took the time to color. And now I'm just going to follow those diagonal lines and snip those away with my scissors. And I didn't realize it, but I had shut the camera off, and I had zoomed it in and accidentally shut it off. So it's a little bit out of focus here, but you can see where I took all those remaining negative pieces and glued them back into place after I trimmed them out on the diagonal there. And because they're colored in with the marker, they help further create that 3D illusion. And to finish off the card, I wanted to add a little bit more color and motion. So I took some pigment inks. These are Avery Elle's pigment inks, and I love them stamped over the top of the Copic because they maintain their opacity and still remain pretty true to color and give great coverage. And so it looks really awesome over the top of the Copic marker that I did. So I really like these inks for that. And they're very quick drying, and they come in a beautiful range of colors. So anyway, I took strawberry and sea glass and mimosa to complement the rest of the card. And then to finish it off, I'm going to use my quick stick and grab some Pretty Pink Posh star sequins. I added some dots of multi-medium glue where I thought I wanted my sequins, and then just quickly grabbed those from the pile and set them into place with the quick stick. And I love this effect, and I can't wait to try it again and actually get that 3D effect even better the next time around because I was in a hurry the third time. All the supplies, still shots, and details are listed at the Classroom blog, and thanks for watching.